Good morning, good evening. I know most of us aren't from out in Australia's way, so I think whoever's here, they're either a night owl or they're very committed and woke up. So, whoever you may be, welcome in. It is the Australian Grand Prix. We're just moments away. Currently, if you are turning in, we are listening to the Australian National Anthem. So, yes, just moments away before a formation lap and the kickoff, the race start of the Australian GP. So, I know a lot of you probably haven't. Hopefully, you did. I shouldn't say probably, but but at least the highlights of the free practice, the qualifying. A little interesting, the starting grid today. A bit Max Verstappen in first, and then a bit of a mix-up up top as well this weekend. Most importantly, how McLaren and Ferrari are kind of interlinked there. So, top 10 here is number 1, Max Verstappen, Carlos Sainz, Lando Norris, Charles Leclerc, Oscar Piastri, and then the other Red Bull, Sergio Perez in 6th. George Russell in 7th. Yuki Tsunoda making it up to 8th. Lance Stroll in 9th. And Fernando Alonso in 10th. So, very interesting there, actually, as well. Yuki Tsunoda in the Visa Cash App Red Bull. V-Carb, however we're calling them, racing bulls these days, pushing up into the top 10. Impressive. Lewis Hamilton, again, starting in 11th. 2 races in a row. Alex Albon in 12th. Valtteri Bottas, Kevin Magnussen, Esteban Ocon, Nico Hülkenberg, Pierre Gasly, Daniel Ricciardo, and Zhu Guan Yu. Daniel Ricciardo, the other homeboy. Oh boy, the rumors. The rumors are going to be swirling. He's going to have some sort of a race. I don't know what he's going to do from 18th. It's starting to not look so great for him. A lot of people comparing him. Honestly, McLaren's in the news a lot, but he's getting compared to McLaren. His days that he was there, just not impressed. He came back to the Red Bull ecosystem to try to prove himself, to try to get back into it. It's not worked out. Sorry. So, when you first wake up, I'm still getting rid of my pasty wake up mouth there. I fell asleep on the couch for a couple hours. That was my plan tonight. Didn't want to go all the way to bed. It would have been too hard to get up. And Carlos Sainz as well. I mean, there's so many small little storylines here tonight, right? So Carlos Sainz not racing last week because of appendicitis, having the surgery the same day as the race, the Saturday. Of course, Ollie Bierman, that was exciting to watch. Some people weren't even sure he was going to race. You get a couple stitches, you pull 6Gs. You never know how that's going to turn out, right? But apparently, he was probably at some level of discomfort, I would imagine. It's been a couple weeks. I mean, he's probably mostly healed, but at the same time, the amount your body goes through, he was taking it a bit easy, not going to the gym, that kind of stuff. So you'd think it might be... Maybe the rest was good for him. Maybe that's what he needed. But it did allude to the fact that McLaren is in the news a little bit today. So first and foremost, we just saw Zach Brown there, the team principal. He gets, according to GPFans.com, I'll bring it up here as well, he gets a contract until 2027. He's obviously doing a good job. He's been kind of quiet this year too, though, I gotta say. You don't hear about it, and maybe that's the trick. Less talking, more performing. But here it is. McLaren have announced a brand new deal. No thanks. There you go. So Mr. Zach Brown, in case you need a visual how he looks like, there he is. The papaya is the bright orange. There you go. With the other homeboy, Oscar Piastri, gonna fight for some points today. That's another storyline, right? So we talked about the one Australian back in 18th not doing too well, but then we have sitting in 6th, we got Oscar Piastri. He's actually 5th in the standings right now. Decent start for well, he's the second year. Can't call him a rookie anymore, but other than Logan Sargent, the youngster really on the grid. Now, speaking of Logan Sargent, you'll notice there's 19 racers on the grid today. Logan Sargent gets the shaft. Oh my, oh my. So it's you got to feel bad for the guy, right? So elbow goes into a wall. Not into a wall, sorry, the gravel. He wrecked his car. Yeah, he go into a wall. He wrecked everything. Logan Sargent gets the shaft. Young guy move over. I don't know if you guys feel a little bit weird. I know it's ruthless. But let's be fair, Logan Sargent does not score points. So when you're a team that needs to score any points possible, you gotta really double down on that, right? So we'll see. We'll see if that was the right decision. Especially when the guy that's taking your car wrecked the first one. And the reason being is due to budgetary reasons, they did not bring another chassis with them. So certain teams, especially lower on the grid, they make certain cost savings. They decided, okay, we won't ship another chassis. Roll the dice. Did not work out. And good morning, you made it. You said you would. Did you stay up or did you have a little nap beforehand? And should note as well, German Dave is supposed to be here tonight. He's now the one with the flu. So Dash had it. It lingered. I had it last week. Yeah, it lingered a little bit. Now Dave. And we're all in different countries, too. It's not even like we're hanging out with each other, right? All right, time check. 54. All right, little time. So how do you... That's an interesting thing as well. I watch on the official F1, but I know depending on which country you're in. Might be Sky Sports, it might be something else. Or whatever your country has. All right, so we actually get different feeds a lot of the time. Not so much as with footy, with us in North America. Pretty much, even though it's different platforms, getting the same feed. Okay, stayed up yesterday watching the qualifier. Oh, wow. You did. Haven't gotten good sleep. Committing. A new F1 fan as well. I love it. Committing to it. It's, I mean, it's 11 o'clock for you now, so it's... I feel like it's slightly less insane. I don't know. Kind of depends. Like, I'm a morning person, right? So this is more insane for me. But there's the driver standings here anyways at the side. Max, of course. Max and Sergio Perez. Oh, man, Red Bull. And then Leclerc, Russell, and Piastri. And a little unfortunate, too, because Sainz not racing that one race. He's got some time. A little time to make up. Oh, I love it, too. The time split there right on the side. So Verstappen, 0.270. What a gap. It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. Wife wasn't happy I gotten too much into F1. Really? Oh, no. Why is that? Just something else? Or just more crazy hours? Wants you in bed with her? I mean, it's just something else. So the circuit, hopefully you have it up here on your feed if we are indeed on the same feed, but they are showing all 14 terms there. This track and KB Donut Vanguard. You were there with me. I did 40 laps the other night on the Discord. Yeah, his performances aren't good, and he's going to be driving for Ferrari next season. Yeah. So what's interesting? Because you got to look at Russell. So, they only go to 11th. Come on. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Australian GP Q3 timings. That's what I'm looking for. I just want to know. I know it wasn't much. It was like 2 or 3 tenths difference between Russell and Hamilton. It wasn't huge. The Mercedes aren't that great, and it's winter. Like you look at Leclerc in the Ferrari, who was killing it through free practice, and then finishes 4th. He just wasn't feeling it. He bugged out of his last lap. He wasn't feeling it. So it's a little weird. I don't know how much I'm jumping to that conclusion yet that Hamilton is just trash. And this is me defending a guy I don't particularly like. Okay, so he's saying this is the crazy time of the race. Yeah. Oh, man. Not all of them, thankfully. They're usually just like 11 in the morning or something. It's usually not too bad. Okay, and I forgot to mention, Perez qualified 2nd. But for impeding, he got a 3-point place penalty. So that's why there's quite the mix-up. So even though being 2nd fastest there, he moves into 6th. Or 3rd fastest, sorry. Carlos was 2nd fastest. So yeah, a penalty there. Mixing things up, separating the Red Bulls, putting the Ferraris and the McLarens in the mix right in between. So the big thing again is Hamilton getting that pole position. Does he just get out into that clear air, let everyone else battle it, and then he can just continues to build that gap? Yeah, the first 2 races for you are at 9. Yeah, that's more the typical time. And then if they're more, the North American races, they're in the afternoon. Might be like a 3, 4 p.m. All right, so the first 9 are all on mediums. Alonso hard, Hamilton soft, so he's going to be looking to jump positions. Alonso go in the long game. And then mostly more mediums. It's just a couple people and they're mixing it up. Which of the cars has the best design color combo? So subjective. So obviously, in my opinion, I mean the McLaren. I've always liked an orange. That's a nice one. Ferrari, even though this year may not necessarily be my favorite, 2 years ago I really liked it. When it had the deep side pods, when it really cut in with the Louvres, the cooling Louvres. Oh, man. Yeah. So that would have been, the 2022? The 22 year? The year that we started off real good, and Red Bull had like 2 DNFs, and there's a competition. And, yeah, clearly that didn't happen. But yeah, the Crimson Ferrari, it's classic. It's iconic. Historic. I mean, outside of that, none of the liveries, like, really, really go for it. And it's interesting too, a lot of them, because of weight reduction, it's a lot of carbon. Alpine being accused of just basically not having a paint scheme because it's all just carbon. My dogs, hold on. Barking at things in the middle of the night. Jeez. Okay, Ricardo there, 10th Australian Grand Prix. And Joe Granu starting from the pit lane as well. Yeah. There's Liam Lawson. Okay. Sounds like my dog. Yeah. Oh, I didn't even get over the other piece of news from McLaren. Sorry. McLaren has a new owner. Bit of a stretch on the headline. Bring it up here just before we start this race. Here it is. McLaren has a new owner. This is from Motor1.com. Muptalaket. Muptala. Oh my. It's a Bahraini name. I'm sorry. I'm messing it up. I know it. The Sovereign Wealth Fund of Bahrain now holds 100% ownership in the supercar company. So now owns 100% ownership. They had partial before. Okay. We have everyone lining up. Joe in the pit lane. Okay, we have some lights here. 5 red, and here we go. We are underway, and smooth start. And Sainz does he's not going to get a jump on that, but does well to stay right on his ass. It's clean. It's clean. Right to the first turn. We weren't sure if that's going to happen. Sainz pushing hard. Last year's Australian GP, chaotic. Red cards. Red cards. I'm doing it again. Red flags. Everything's staying tight. They're racing. We're going to have to wait for this DRS now going into the second lap. I think that's really going to start getting some overtakes here. Tires not yet warmed up either. Maybe a bit tentative over this sketchy at high speed track. Oh, Piastri has been overtaken by Leclerc. Oh, Russell making a position as well on Perez. So we have Verstappen, Sainz, Norris, Leclerc, Piastri, Russell, Perez, Stroll in 8th, Tsunoda, Hamilton. So Stroll making up a position. Hamilton jumping on Alonso. Hamilton being on the softs, of course, on to Alonso's hards. So that was kind of expected. But Alonso playing that long game. Okay, so Russell making a spot, so Stroll and Hamilton. Bottas and Magnussen, so Albon actually had a slow start. Oh, that's not good. Well then. So DRS enabled. Sainz actually still very close to Verstappen. And they were saying they were worried. Red Bull was saying they were worried about the Ferraris this weekend. After the practice and the qualifying, which is funny because they usually Ferrari Leclerc gets pull a lot, but here is Sainz on Verstappen. We got a race, guys. Oh, this wheel, the wheel, he's in space. Oh, Sainz overtakes. Wow, this is the first time Verstappen has been overtaken there in clean racing. We're not talking pits or any of that. This is clean racing, and Sainz is in first, but now he has to battle off Max's DRS coming up on him. Here we go. Is this Ferrari's race? Did we finally get a mix-up after such dominance from Red Bull at the end of last season into this one? But now, here it is. Verstappen's going to be coming on. Let's see how Sainz defends. For Sabinson, I just lost the car really weird. So Max, I don't know. Not feeling it. Again, this track and a bit of wind. That's what Mercedes was saying. A bit of wind throws things off. Maybe it's just F1 cars in general. But nice outside overtake into that second high-speed chicane. Man, that's a long straight too. That's a lot of DRS there. And Sainz still pulling off. Despite the DRS of Max, he's actually faster per lap than Max right now. Interesting. Let's see if this keeps up. Don't expect Max to really settle down. Norris trying to get a bit onto Max as well now. And let's see how that battle goes. Of course, with Leclerc in fourth, we have a battle. Max saying the car's loose. Max likes a loose car, though. Is it just slightly too loose today? I'm telling you, this track and Donut, you saw how I was just squirmed through some of those corners. It's real sketchy. And Max is not having a good time. And Max locking up a little bit, too. I don't know. There was smoke there. There's black smoke. I don't know if that was a lockup. Locks would have been white smoke. There is smoke. Is Max's car done? Max might be done. Oh no, he's on fire. Max is done. We do have jeopardy. Max is finally having problems. His car bulletproof. Wow. Who would have thought? He's still racing. He has not given up. I just saw something on the track, but I don't know if that was a piece of paper. What's going on right now? But this is insane. Yeah, Norris overtakes. Max is done, guys. Max is done. Oh, man, he's... Yeah. Oh, God. I did not expect this. This is insane. Brake. He's got a brake fire. Wow. I don't even know how to feel. Like, how do you react? This has not happened in forever, since the beginning of that 22 season, like I was mentioning. When they had two DNFs in a row, and here they are again, Australia, and he is off. Sainz in first, Norris second, Leclerc third, Piastri fourth, Russell, Perez, Stroll moving up to seventh, Tsunoda, Hamilton, Alonso. Wow. What a mix-up. And he didn't include, yes, I got Sainz off my team too after the appendicitis. Can you believe? Oh my, whoever stuck with them. Race isn't over though. Lap 5 of 58. Oh man. Yeah, his right rear. Man, oh man. 43 it was. 43 races. Man. Well, here we go. Man, it's smoking into the paddock, right into the garage. Now, this is going to be a conversation between my two favorite liveries here, going back to early conversations, the orange and the reds, papayas and scarlets. Sainz now getting quite a good lead here into clean air. Just proving that if you have clean air up front without anybody battling you, you can really just move away. Man, the disbelief on Max's face. He is not happy. Wow, not happy at all. Obviously, we've really just been waiting. It was only a matter of time, right? On one hand, just want to see the best racer on the field just lose out to a bad break at the end of the day, right? Like, it sucks. But it's a team game, and part of it is the mechanics. The engineering didn't work out this time, right? So Norris now fighting, trying to get some time back up on Sainz. So it's going to be a bit about tire management as well. Leclerc's going to have to try. I wonder if he's just not feeling it or he's biding his time. I don't know, but he's stuck in between both Norris and Piastri right now. Nice and tight. Man, second to fourth, that's going to be it. I think Sainz, if he keeps on going clean with this one, I think he just might be out in the clear. Wow. And now we actually see it. And again, it's still crazy. You have to take out the best racer. But this, I think the rest of this race is really what F1 is supposed to be week in, week out. This kind of battle, right? Where it's not always just the one guy. So interesting. And Sainz overtaking too. I wonder if it's just that extra little bit of braking power that he was able to get, because where he passed him too, just coming into that chicane. Oh, a piece did come off of Max's car. Just before he got into the pits there, luckily, not on track. Man, oh man, this is wild. So there is Carlos with the gap. Charles, hard on Piastri. Oh yeah, look at the fire. That wasn't just smoke, man. That's full on fire. So Hamilton's in. Soft tires off. Going on to hards. He was hoping for maybe, early safety car. Didn't work out. Because this lap could have a very early safety car. We could have even had one if Max broke down in a more inopportune area. So Sainz still fastest. Oh, yeah, 2.3 second gap now. Sainz going plan A. Oh, Charles trying to lunge. Does not get it. Oh, that slowed him down a little bit now, but he maintains. There is a DRS train. Leclerc does have to make this move sooner than later, though. Yeah, interesting. His lunge on Norris has slowed him down a bit. He's got to be smart here. This is the storyline for now, anyways. Leclerc between the two McLarens. Russell getting the box as well. Interesting, because he's on the mediums. I wonder what that's all about. What they're planning. Sainz gets another fastest lap. 2.5 seconds. Stroll in for 2.6. Interesting. So Perez moves up into fifth. Oh, not again. Are you kidding me? Valtteri Bottas, another disastrous pit stop where they can't get the tire on. Man, he's already had a 52 second. Zhu has already had a disastrous one. And now this. What is the timing on that? That's got to be 20 something seconds, I imagine. Let's wait for the official. Signs on the radio. Let's open the gap now, then go along. The car feels very good to me. Yes, absolutely. This is pulling a Max Verstappen. Get the gap while you still can, while everyone's battling. Leclerc and Piastri into the pit, so everyone with early pit stops. Very interesting. 10 laps in. Very, very interesting. Excuse me. I'm being holding off this congestion. Give me a quick sec as I clear it. Oh yes, thank you. I did not hit it properly. Thanks for the heads up there, KB. Always got my back. Yes, I was muted. So, okay, let's go back to that. Sainz out of contract. He's doing better than Leclerc. Leclerc, yeah, just not having the best this week. Just like Max, right? Uh, they are pretty similar in that they both like really loose ends. You'll notice that the fastest drivers can control a really loose back end, and it really gives that ability to move around quickly in the corners. Signs engineer saying you're doing a mega job out there. Yes, he is. 4.5 second gap now. Yeah, Signs is an amazing driver. Leclerc is. I mean, Science is having a renaissance this season. It seems like it's crazy. It could just be that drive because he needs to find a new team. He's being touted to go to Audi, who's currently kick Sauber. We see how bad they are. Audi coming in saying they're going to accelerate their plans to take full ownership of that team so they can start getting underway for the new regulations. They're committed to having a fast car, getting into that top five, but I mean, those are all words at this point, right? Leclerc easily passing right now. There's Gasly out of the way. Now he's back behind Hulkenberg, who can defend, but I don't know if he can at all because Leclerc just steps aside. Piastri now getting past Gasly and now has to make the Hulkenberg pass as well. This is Leclerc's chance. If Piastri gets stuck, this is Leclerc's chance to get a little bit of a gap because Alonso is a fair bit ahead now. Signs, we are now going to plan B. So that's likely just tire strategy. So there, Piastri does make his pass. Good showing by Piastri, the homeboy. Ricardo, the other homeboy, is in 16th currently. Started 18th, so that's something. So in an era of fairly good reliability, I thought we were going to have just because we had two back-to-back 20-car finishes, the last season and the first of this season. And now we're starting races without cars, and Max is gone. Oh my! So switching it up a little bit with unreliability now. Max is involved with the paddock though, as you would imagine. Him and Christian Horner having a conversation. 6 seconds now, Carlos. Carlos is basically Max today. Amazing. Perez on the radio. I think we overdid it on this tire. The grip is quite low from the rear. So now Perez is having issues on the rear. That's interesting. So they stayed out, got the positioning, but now he's losing time. So that's always the risk, staying out a bit longer. Okay, showing hot girls instead of the race again. Cool. Love it. So let's see. Is Perez losing any time? Because you have Alonso 2.2 seconds back. Yeah, Perez is slowing down to Norris. Leclerc is making time up on Alonso, so that's going to really be the question, right? How much can Perez hold off and try to gain positioning or maintain positioning at this point? He's going to have to come in for that pit regardless, right? He's going to lose some positioning, but I think they're going to have to bring him in sooner than later if he's losing the time. RB's getting away with this risky engineer, and it caught up with them. No, I don't know. I think it's the car setup this weekend. Because you're talking about Adrian Newey, their engineer, and that guy has made countless championship vehicles across like the racing community, the sport in general, not just F1, right? Like, this guy's genius, an icon. A brake fire? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. That car hasn't had a DNF in 43 races, right? Like, that is really, really good. So yeah, I would just throw him out of the bus. Now, there are rumors linking them up with Ferrari now. Of course, all the drama behind the scenes with Red Bull, that's happening. So Norris get in the box now. Imagine Perez should be coming in, but Sainz as well. So the top three, all out there on mediums. So Perez does get the box. So you're going to see 2 and 3 coming with Norris and Perez. Let's see what Sainz does. Does he just keep on rolling through? Yeah, you're saying Ferrari should have hired him. They're trying, apparently. Norris at the 2.6. Here's Perez now. That was a little slow. A little slow. 2.8. Not bad, but it's slow by Red Bull standard anyways. Perez losing quite a few positions. Coming out in 10th. Oh, tire to tire. Stroll trying to get past Perez coming out of the pits. He might still yet, because Perez does not have any warmth in his tires at all. Let's see what Stroll can do. Or, sorry, my mistake. This is Hamilton. Stroll is ahead of Perez. That's going to be hard, actually. Let's see what Hamilton can do in that Mercedes. The struggling Mercedes. Let's see, Alonso now up in second. Leclerc continuing to make time. Those hards. And now this is, I mean, Sainz, I'm telling you, is just a max today. Staying out there on those tires. Still gaining speed. We're creating a gap. These tires are good. It's cruising. Absolutely cruising. Now, Sainz, the only non-Red Bull driver to win a race last season. Hamilton saying, geez, that car's fast. Wow, yeah. I guess that's the first time he's had to go head-to-head with the Red Bull this season. And now Russell gets the pass on Gasly. Very nice. Moves up into 7th. Bit of a DRS train because Stroll's up on Gasly as well. Stroll having a good weekend. And again, the small stories. You see Leclerc not maybe being locked in. Max obviously not locked in at all. Hamilton struggling a little bit. And then Stroll just having a race. Having a good weekend. Perez can't make the oh, what a nice tight turn in there. That's Gasly, Stroll, Perez coming in nice and tight. And here is Sainz in the pits. Hamilton has engine failure. Hamilton's out. Oh, wow. Again, how much is this? Hamilton, how much is the Mercedes? My Lord. What are we witnessing? I'm happy we stayed up for this one. This is a race. This is, again, sad that we're seeing some of these top drivers. What you can probably argue is the 2 most successful drivers of this era, both out of the race. Oh, Hamilton didn't even have enough. He was under his own power, was getting to the pits, but now he's off on the grass. He couldn't even make it. Wow. Yellow flag in Sector 3. There it is. So Leclerc back on the battle. Or sorry, this is Sainz trying to get back on Alonso after coming out of the pits. And look, yeah, everyone, virtual safety car. And everyone's already pitted. I guess my fantasy points goodbye. Yeah, you might slip. Let's see. Let's see how that ends up after this weekend. Oh man, the engine just stopped. Just stopped. Wow. What a race we're witnessing. Okay, they're able to push him up. Yeah, decent position. So Alonso in the pits. That's going to allow Ferrari to get into a 1-2 position with the safety car. The Ferraris, excuse me, the Ferraris are going to be racing. Safety car ending. So Hulkenberg, Gasly. Oh, a lockup now for Alonso. Yeah, he did not get the temperature back in those tires, it seems. Guys, it's a Ferrari 1-2, a McLaren 3-4. You have Alonso in 5th, Stroll in 7th, Russell in between. What do we get? Teammates are locking up. Russell doesn't have his. Perez doesn't have his. Tsunoda might as well not have his. Albon does not have his as well. Magnussen and Hulkenberg locked up. And then just everyone else, of course. So the teammates are doing their job. DRS enabled. We're racing. Leclerc within that second. Perez getting over Stroll easily. So Perez is going out to race. He's trying to make some points up for Red Bull. With a DNF here, if Ferrari gets a 1-2, depending. Yeah, I think this is really going to tighten up the standings this weekend. All of a sudden. So we know the McLarens, they have good teamwork. They play well. We'll see how they race together. The Ferraris maybe don't play quite as well. Not quite. So that could be fun. Ocon must have picked up a penalty. Was he on smoke? Yeah, he was smoking a little bit in the right brake duct. So here we go. Leclerc is going to go for the lead, but Sainz, fastest lap. Again. But Ferrari and Red Bull even said they are afraid of the Ferraris. So let's not have more DNFs. Let's keep it clean, boys. Ferrari's picking up some points. 19 of 58 laps, mind you. Oh, there's a tear off in Ocon's duct. So he lost a piece in that. Yeah, so more brake issues anyways. They're showing Max again here. Yeah, probably getting ready for all the media interviews. That's what it looks like. Now, who is texting me at this hour? Yeah, it's my F1 buddies. My F1 buddies are losing their mind too. Max is drinking a Red Bull. Do you need a Red Bull after the race? Think you'd want to come down a little bit instead of getting jacked up again. So, oh, that's what they're talking about. I'm wondering, it's like they're talking about Ferrari. Oh, the crowd wanting the Ferraris to crash out so Piastri could take the lead. That would be funny. Fastest lap by Sainz again. He's not going to let Leclerc have this one. 1.4, yeah. Interesting. 121.6. Fast. Yeah, it won't be funny, but the home crowd, right? That's what the home crowd's wanting from their perspective. Piastri, what a talent, though. Loving it. Second year in the sport, in the league. Shouldn't say the sport, I mean F2, F3 champion. But here he is in F1 in a McLaren, fighting for a podium. And he was on F1 Explains podcast this week, too. They were talking about moving up the ranks, F3, F2, F1. So that was a good listen. Here's Perez coming on the outside of Russell. Yeah, so Mercedes is just not quick at all. Not being able to defend Perez as he just slips by. Yeah, Mercedes. Now there's a team. If you want to talk about the engineering department, let's not be yelling at Adrian Newey here. Let's look at Mercedes, because they changed from the zero pod concept halfway through last season, when they were doing half decent. They finished second last year, just barely by 3 points. They could argue didn't even really deserve it. Hamilton, I feel, does get some preferential treatment from the stewards sometimes. And I feel that might have happened a bit last year. My own biases, perhaps, but that was my feeling. Yeah, Mercedes is trash. Hamilton was 7-time world champions, right? In the Mercedes. Then the Red Bull took over. But we're starting to see a bit of parity. Like, we say Mercedes is trash. Okay, Russell's on the radio. That car is like a rocket ship. So Russell and Hamilton both commenting on how fast that Red Bull is coming down the line. Yeah, so a lot wrong with that car. It's interesting, too, because the Aston Martin, being a customer of the Mercedes engine, like, that engine's made for Mercedes, so when a customer buys that engine, it's not as tailor-made. You have to more force it into your design instead of designing everything around it, right? So, Aston Martin technically should not be doing better than Mercedes. That is an issue. Or McLaren, for that matter. So that, yeah. Say the trash is, maybe a little harsh, but what they're putting on the table is what I think most people consider unacceptable for what their stature is, what they're capable of doing. It's easy to not like Mercedes for like Toto Wolff is very abrasive, and Susie Wolff, I don't know, the two of them. They're like lizard people, So Leclerc now 2 seconds back on Sainz. Interesting. But Piastri 2.3 back, Norris 2 back from there. So they've settled in. $11 and $12, you got both the Haas as well. Let's see if they go for a point. Magnussen taking over, or Hulkenberg taking over Magnussen. So they're racing, having fun. I don't know if you hear that. My dog is snoring very loudly. Oh, man. Yes, if you're judging them by this year, I wouldn't be impressed with Mercedes. They're not looking great. And then you have to wonder, too, did Hamilton see this coming? Is that why he went for that Ferrari contract? Writing's on the wall. Yeah, I mean, there's things we don't see, right? And maybe he did. You like the Haas paint scheme. It's pretty plain. Maybe that's what she likes, just the white with a bit of red and black. That's true. I didn't actually ask which one do you prefer. I don't mind the color of the Aston Martin. That's called British Racing Green. Signs with another fastest lap. Under 121 and a half now. They're saying now here, so Perez is not faster than any of the top four. So even if he does get on Alonso here, he might just be stuck. I think it's the Ferrari McLaren show. We'll see though. See that tire degradation if it makes any long term effects here, because I mean they're all on their hards. They're staying out there at this point. Barring any sort of safety car or anything like that, they are out there on their hards for the long haul. Hamilton probably saw how bad Merck was turning and dip. Yeah, I mean, maybe. You have to think anyways. We had this news too before we even raced this season, right? So we didn't know that when we first found out how bad the Mercs were really feeling this year. Part of it too is that as the Merc got any worse, because these cars are constantly improving. It's just the rate of development, how much they've improved compared to everyone else. So what it looks like is at least McLaren has improved to the point where they've overtaken Merck's performance. At least on a consistent basis. Because McLaren lacks a bit of consistency from track to track and how they perform. But what we're seeing is now is perhaps they're tightening up that inconsistency. Whereas the Merc is becoming more inconsistent. So that's kind of how I see things. There's a bit of that battle in the development now. And Aston Martin as well, with having their own facilities. They just built their own facilities, opened up. I mean, they have all that extra engineering going forward as well now. So the competition's there. And with cost cap rules, there's going to be tighter and tighter spending for the engineering. Signs with another 121.078. Just, oh man. This keeps on going faster. Nuts. Science is absolutely on fire today. This is insane. Does he get racer of the day just by dominating? What's with the angry face? Did I miss something? You're not ahead of me, are you? Now I'm worried. But Perez, half second on Alonso, coming down the straight. DRSing him, no problem. Absolutely no problem. Coming to that high-speed chicane where everyone seems to be getting past after that heavy train. Oh, angry at the fantasy points. You're new to F1, right? You had an excellent first couple of weeks. But this is what happens, right? It doesn't take much for just the points to shift around drastically from one weekend to the next. So Perez has 12 seconds to Norris to make up, which is insane. But Norris is getting into DRS on his teammate. See how they battle it out. Yeah, Perez making easy work of that. Coming on the inside. Nice. Good racing. I mean, Perez is just racing second to Max does not get the love that he deserves. 5 seconds back now, Leclerc. Beauty. When was the last time we had a Ferrari 1-2? Let's go. And love it how McLaren coming in right behind. Absolutely insane. So yeah, we'll see. It's just a matter of the McLarens, I think, at this point, who they're going to allow to take the podium. Piastri being the homeboy. Yeah, swap the positions. They've been told. Norris is that much faster. And you want to see Piastri to get the podium in the home race, but there's Norris now in third. Piastri conceding to his teammate. But we see that with McLaren, right? They don't fuss about it. They played the team game. They do what they're told. Nice to see. Keep things clean. They don't need to wear their tires out, especially if there's any chance of coming back up onto Leclerc. 3 seconds, though, and that is the plan, to see if Norris can pressure Leclerc. Let's go. And Norris does have, fresher tires. Now let's see Leclerc. Again, not completely happy with this car this weekend either, so see if that takes into consideration. So now this is interesting. He is a bit slower than Norris now. Now that Norris is in a bit of clean air. 4 laps fresher tires than Leclerc. So yeah, we might have a second, third race here. Too soon? Calling for the Ferrari 1-2? Who knows? But with Sainz on only 13 laps. Yeah, I think Sainz is looking good, but Leclerc. Let's see. He's in my team too. So, okay, Lando, I know you are, but we want to try and get up behind Leclerc. No, you are. So we missed. We know you are. We missed something there. Perhaps a little unhappy with something, but that is the plan. 2.5 seconds. Yeah, he is making up time. So we see, we do have to keep in mind that they have energy boost with the battery and how much they're using lap over lap. How much Norris is pushing just to try to make up a gap. We'll see, yeah. Oh, I needed Piastri to finish third. Yeah. I mean, what do you want, man? Piastri's still doing amazing. But Perez, 11 seconds back on that, so not making up any speed. Alonso and DRS on mediums. But then again, Russell, 9 seconds off that. There is quite a bit of a gap going down the order. It's only, it's only a couple people that are tight. Interesting race, anyways. Maybe I might, because I put pretty heavy into Ferrari. Yeah, I don't know. Not having Max, that's gonna hurt. So Alonso, yeah, they're about Alonso Perez. They're basically as fast as each other right now. Staying in DRS. This could be an interesting, interchanging positions perhaps over the next few laps here, Alonso and Perez. Alonso, anyways, he loves the race. The old timer, he's going to do it. He's going to push. Have some fun. So, Leclerc still slow on Sainz and still slow on Norris. I'm worried. I'm actually a little bit worried now for Leclerc. Yeah, I really want this Ferrari one too. Norris will still have to overtake Leclerc. That's going to be the is Leclerc just saving a little bit? I don't know. Or does Norris have that much in the tank? But lap 32, we are past the halfway mark. Time check 12:48. So yeah, we're having a pretty decent, nice clean race. No real slowdowns. One lap of a virtual safety car. Not too bad. That's one thing so far is that the races have gone pretty quick. But last year, I mean, we had a couple race restarts. It was a bit of a mess. Okay, so here we go. Battle for second. Yeah, staying about 2.1, 2.2 seconds. But Piastri just kind of dropped away from Norris as well. So that was the right call. But then the rest of the pack, like it is Ferrari and McLaren today, really. So, yeah, Leclerc just not. Ah, man. I know, I'm getting worried here. I'm getting worried here as a Ferrari fan. It's a little rough to see Leclerc slowing down a bit. But how many laps does it take to get on Leclerc? Does he have the tires? Is he pushing too much? Or is the Leclerc truly in trouble? Getting closer. It's like right getting into his rear views now. They don't have rear view mirrors, but you know what I'm saying. Getting into the mirrors. 1.8 seconds. Oh, man. Yeah, Norris is pushing hard. Now, the question is, like, Leclerc, if he does concede his position, does he stay on the podium? Does Piastri have enough to push on? It's not looking like it quite yet, but it's now at 1.5 seconds between Leclerc and Norris. My tire is gone front left. I think we cannot wait too much. That's on Leclerc. So they're going to have to go in for a pit. So he is going to go for a two. Yeah, this has to be the call now, Ferrari. If they're going to pit, they have to do it now. 1.2 seconds. Yep, here it is. He's coming in. It's going to have to do 23 laps. Let's see. It's not going to be a medium. So first one in this round of pits. And those are more hards going on there. All right. The hards are what's working for him, apparently. So Leclerc coming out ahead of Perez, just ahead. Wow, almost making contact, but does he maintain with the cold tires? Let's see. Perez is battling. He maintains Leclerc. He might be okay. That's rough coming out on cold hards with Perez and Alonso just barreling down on you like that. But Leclerc holds off. He's back and forth. Wow. Pulling away. That could have been something, couldn't have? Did Norris pit yet? Yes, he did pit once. But it looks like just with the degradation on the Ferrari, there might be another one coming down. But why is it with Leclerc's setup that his tire is done and Sainz is just cruising? So needless to say, different drivers can have different setups, right? They're not necessarily all going with the same setup. Oh, there's a piece of something there on the road, but box for Perez, so he's coming in. So Red Bull not having quite the longevity in their tires either. You'd see them stay out for a long time, and Perez is coming in early. .4 seconds. That's a good stop. Perez coming out in 9th. Behind Tsunoda. So, 10-second gap now between Norris and Sainz. It's going to come down to pit strategy and tire degradation, it looks like. Joe Granu. Here's kick again in the pits. And we're not quite sure what's wrong with them, but I don't know. They're not doing anything in the pits. He might be done. No, he's coming out. There was some sort of issue, but Zoe is still racing. Coming out in 17th. Last man racing. Yeah, Kick's having a horrible season so far. So Norris making a bit of time still up on sides. McLarens are quick. Ooh, and now Williams got Albon on Hulkenberg. Let's go. Albon. Let's get some points. It's always fun watching some of these guys going midfield. I once complained that he was moving under braking, perhaps. He's not happy. Bottas in the pit now. Let's hope Kick has a better pit stop this time. Oh man, congestion again. Give me a second. Sorry, my friend. Apparently waking up in the middle of the night to call this it's not as good for the sinuses. So Norris is still faster than Sainz. I wonder too, how much is this is a McLaren just being quicker? How much is this Sainz biding his time, just keeping his tires in a certain window? Kick is just like right at the back. Both of them 18 and 19 seconds behind Ricardo. It's like, what's going on? It's just insane. Every time they're in the pits, there's something. Let's see if we see anything here. Oh, Bottas is all right. He came out. It's 3.8 seconds, though. It's still pretty slow. You got to knock about a second off that, you know? Way too slow. So Norris back to 10.1. So Here's the long-term situation, right? Does Norris have enough in those tires to keep on pushing on? That's what I'm not sure, because that is a huge gap to make up. Oh, Piastri locking up, taking the grass. Oh, man. It's that last turn, too. That turn is sketchy. It's spin out there all the time. But that allows Leclerc to make a bit of time up now on Piastri. Piastri getting the box, of course. Just taking that little bit out of his tires, he's going to have to come in. He almost just crashed into the pits there. If his crew was ready, it would have been better. It would have lost less time overall. But here he is coming in. And he came in quick, too. He had to take a hard break to slow down into the pits. So Leclerc moving into third. Of course, he's going to be racing with the older tires. 18 laps to go. Norris getting the box as well. Yeah, Norris's tires started to die off there. You can see he started to lose a bit of time. He pushed hard. Got as much as he possibly could out of that tire strategy, and here he is going in for fresh ones. So Sainz still out there. Now, depending, like Sainz is having really good degradation right now, so he can even come out and go on medium softs when he comes out and really confirm his dominance coming into the end of the race. So here's Leclerc racing. Norris coming in. So Leclerc's going to take that second position back. Okay, so let's see how they do on this pit. Looked okay, 2.6. Not bad. And here's Leclerc just coming out ahead. Sainz getting the box. So, Norris has 6 laps on Leclerc's tires now. So this is going to be the conversation for the last stretch of this race. Sainz coming in on this lap. Let's see what he gets. It looks like at this point it is still hards. Sometimes certain compounds just don't work out quite as well, so they like to go for the different compounds. Hards might not make sense, but sometimes those mediums degrade way too quick. And now here is Sainz coming in. Let's see how this goes now. Let's give him something clean. That looked good. 2.6. And he's back out. And he does get the hards. Nice, and Piastri overtaking Alonso. Getting back his fourth. Alonso getting the box now. Leclerc getting fastest lap. So Leclerc has 6-second gap. It will be tight. Oh, you're leaving me. Good. Well, my friend, I'm heading out to bed. Oh, you can't make it to the end? 16 laps. Come on. Come on, buddy. All right. Well, good night anyways. Thanks for joining in. It's going to be Ferrari 1-2, and you're going to go to bed. The one match, the one race that Max can't even win. Good night, my friend. Gasly getting pushed off track a little bit. So Noda taking the inside, goes wide and pushes Ocon out. That's awesome. Love it. All right, so still the Ferrari 1-2, the McLaren 3-4, Russell, the lone Merc in 5th, and the lone Red Bull in 2nd. The two Aston Martins in 7th and 8th. Sonoda holding on 9th, and Hulkenberg. Again, Haas fighting for some points. Albon in 11th, though. Magnussen in 12th, so that could be interesting as well. And Magnussen. Oh, taken. No, does not get it. Albon and Magnussen fighting it out. This can be good right now for that last point. Here we go, Haas and Williams. I love the midfield battles. Ricardo up in 13th now, though. He has made a few positions, starting in 18th. 2 cars out, of course, but he has to put something out today, right? His teammate up in 9th in the points. Ricardo's got to start performing. Russell saying his tires are feeling good. That's positive for Merck, at least at this point, who has not had much luck this weekend. So final 15 laps. Other than a couple of DNFs due to mechanical issues today, you know, it's been pretty clean racing compared to last year. But Lando Norris putting a 1:20.652 for the fastest lap, and now Piastri going 1:20.485. So the McLarens are pushing. Both of them going hard. Let's go. Leclerc is probably a little bit worried. Oh, and no, Magnussen can't take Albon again. It is tight. Oh, man. Man, these Haas drivers are fun this year. Yeah, and again, trying to get the DRS, not enough. So that final point is still up for grabs. Race control, Bottas, incident, pit lane infringement is noted, so they'll be looking into that. So more pit woes for Kick Sauber. They're in there so long, I guess they're just really increasing their chances. They spend a minute at a time in the pits, right? So, who knows? No luck. You'd like to see him clean that up, though. Another fastest lap by Piastri, 1:23.95. It is Piastri going to push on his teammate again. And here we go. Magnussen finally takes Albon. So it's a 10-11 for Haas. Too bad for Albon. He might be able to fight back here, keeping in DRS. But Magnussen having another great weekend. So this McLaren still looking quick. It's Leclerc that really has to worry. He's got 5 seconds back on Sainz. 4.4 on Norris behind him. Piastri is 8 behind Norris. So we'll see who closes up which gap. Oh, they're going back to lap 3 here on the replay, showing Max and Carlos. Yeah, so Max did have an issue into that first turn, it looked like, and slowed him down. That let Sainz get that jump. So right from the get-go, Max was not looking good. Oh, yeah, and as he came in, something must have exploded or really caught fire just as he came into the pit lane. Those are some cool cool scenes of Max's car there catching on fire. So Russell comes into the pits. He gets hard as well for 12 laps. So it really is proof that those mediums and softs don't do well on that track. Very interesting. Compounds are a little bit softer chosen for this weekend, so that's part of the factor. And that's part of the strategy, too, with Pirelli. You know, they sometimes try to, if they can go a little bit softer where it's not dangerous, the extra wear on the tire, they might choose something softer just to create more pit stops, more strategy, if you will. Norris with a 119.9, really closing in this gap now. There's enough time left. 11 laps. He can definitely do it. This race is not over. And Leclerc is going to have to be defending here in a couple laps. Side still looking okay. Yeah, Charles is the one that's now less than 4 seconds gap. So Norris looking for a big second place finish today. Piastri does not have that pace though, but neither does Perez. So Piastri looking fourth. Not a bad finish for him today if he holds on. Hometown wants him on the podium. But McLaren is not going to gamble with that. They already called the team orders. Norris is the man gaining ground. Fraction by fraction of a second on Charles Leclerc. Oh, they're showing Leclerc here. Slowing down. No, there's nothing wrong there. 10 centimeters. That's what it was. Close call. 10 centimeters to the wall. Make the most of that track, especially on that turn, the high-speed chicane. Extra point, too, for fastest lap as well, so McLaren looking to pick up that +1. Leclerc trying to go faster now. Gasly, 5 second. He crossed the pit line on the exit. Come on, Gasly. You can't be doing that. Can't cross the line. So Gasly sitting in 14th position. Currently, that would put him into 16th with that 5 seconds. So, not great. But, you know, no points either way. 10 laps to go now. This is about where we had all the excitement last year, so don't go away just yet. It might get crazy, but there's quite a gap between all the racers right now. Maybe the midfield. If anything's happening, it looks like it's in the midfield. Russell only 1.5 back at Alonso, so I imagine he's going to be pushing on that. Pick up a few more points. But the only... Yeah, so you got the 6-7 battle. You're going to have the 2-3 battle. 3.9. Leclerc is trying to keep the pace up now. Sainz, 5.3 seconds ahead. It looked a lot better. It looked a lot more Max Verstappen when he was 10 seconds ahead, right? Russell continuing to close in. 1.2 seconds now. Russell with pretty fresh tires as well. So Russell's going to take Alonso, I'm pretty sure, here. Just closing into this DRS. 9 to go. Oh, I didn't even change my background, too. I uploaded the new background. That's what I want to go with. Switch it up. 3.7 seconds. Leclerc to Norris. So Bahrain 2022 was Ferrari's last 1-2. Again, that 2022 year, they started off really good. They just showed Gasly's penalty. That line, there's like two lines. They're like offset. So I wonder, it was not one continuous pit exit line. Love to see them put up the times here because Leclerc is now 4.8 to Sainz. Norris still the same gap, 3.7, 3.8. So Leclerc is speeding up. He's going to hold on to the second place, I think, at this point. As we come into the end of the 51st lap. And is it the 1-2? Ferrari fans are certainly holding on, gripping into their seats. Yeah, Norris slipping back to 4 seconds. I think so. Leclerc is pushing now. This is good to see by him. Ferrari showing a bit of longevity in their tires this year. Huge improvements there in the development of their car for this 2024 season. But McLaren as well, talking about huge improvements. This is massive for McLaren. Easily holding off Red Bull. The lone Red Bull and Sergio Perez 12 seconds behind Piastri in 5th place. Absolutely killing it. So, Red Bull is vulnerable. They are absolutely vulnerable. Now, they are due for a few upgrades, but Ferrari is apparently looking for some upgrades, I think, as early as Japan. That's coming up. Let's look as well. The Japanese Grand Prix is next. That's Sunday, April 7th. That's a 1 a.m. Eastern Time. So, we'll be there. Actually, I actually won't. Unfortunately, going down the line, I am leaving. I'm leaving the next morning. I don't think I will. Going on my trip. But hopefully Dave will get you. He feels better and go solo on that one for you. So, it looks like these gaps are staying pretty steady now. First to second is still at 5. Second to third is at 3.8, 3.9. Piastri, almost 11 seconds back on Norris. He really dropped off the pace. But here we go. 52nd lap. What else do we have here? Ricardo 2 seconds back on Albon. That'd be for 12th. Notably, Russell still 1.1 seconds back on Alonso. So, yeah, he's in DRS zone. This is what we want here. Let's get a little bit more racing because, honestly, I'm surprised. This race is really just cleaned up. And for a track like this, you expected a lot more. It all happened at the beginning. 5 laps to go. Okay, so current vote for driver today. Sainz 36, Norris 11%, Piastri 11%. Very, very interesting. Piastri had a great race, but Norris is just that much quicker today. Leclerc opening up that... No, sorry, I'm looking at that the wrong way. He is slowing down again. Norris is closing in 3.4 seconds. So Norris is back on the push. Five laps, though. It's tight. Russell still just right underneath that 1 second gap for the DRS. Can he gain 2 more points by taking on Alonso here? And Norris still with that fastest lap too, picking up the bonus. McLaren has a great weekend great showing this week and absolutely killing it. Ferrari somehow coming back into form. Great racing today from the top teams, both the red and the orange. Disappointing showing from Red Bull. I'd say disappointing from Mercedes too for the most part. George Russell starting to close in that gap, 0.4. It's got 4 laps to do this. This is worth 2 points in the Constructors. Wow, everything. The race championship, the Constructors, keeping that half-second gap now Alonso is. Alonso certainly knows how to defend. Norris's gap is 3.2. That is getting a little tight, but I think the gap is large enough. I'm sure Leclerc's race engineer is right on the numbers. And there's no threat there at this point. Maybe saving a little bit of battery for the final lap push. Who knows? Dump the battery. Kill it off. Get over the line in second. But we're at a 2.8 second gap. It's not over yet. But Alonso, we see the defense coming out of him. He is one of the best on the defensive aspect of this sport. I don't think he's going to let that one up too easy if he can get Aston Martin a couple more points in this one. But yeah, with Stroll sitting in 8th, not a bad showing for them would be. Stroll 12 seconds back on his teammate. Norris with 2.5 seconds. 3 laps to go. It's quite a gap. But if Norris can somehow jump into DRS, make a 1.5 seconds in 2 laps, he might challenge into that final. But it's going to be tight. Russell bringing it back into 0.5 seconds. The Merc just does not have that extra little bit of oomph that seems, It's kind of crazy to think. Aston Martin being the customer to Merc. So I'm saying tires don't feel great now. Well, yet only have a couple laps, buddy. You gotta hold on. You definitely gotta hold on. But it is interesting because Leclerc is kind of gaining on Sainz now, 4.2. 3.8. Yeah, Sainz is actually losing a bit of time now. This is interesting. Now, by the time we hear these radio calls, that might be a lap or so. So that could have been a 4-lap left instead of a 3-lap left call, but still, but 2 seconds. And Leclerc with the fastest lap, stealing the point with a 1:19.8, getting a 10th. Beautiful. 10th off Norris to take that. Beautiful. So that's Sainz slowing down, but Leclerc is pushing, dumping that battery, got that fastest lap, getting as many points as is possible for Ferrari this weekend. 1.5 laps. Here we go. Norris still 3.2 seconds back. Yeah, Leclerc pushed off. He's got this one. Let's go. Leclerc certainly closing the gap in with Sainz, but 3.5 seconds not going to be enough race left to jump onto that. But what is showing by Leclerc coming into the final turns Here's the last little exchange to go into the straight for the final lap. Here we go. Ferrari 1-2, McLaren in a 3-4. Barring any last second drama here, we have it. A Ferrari 1-2. Oh, and here we go. Yellow flag. George Russell has smashed his car and he's out of the race. Yellow flags. This race is over, ladies and gentlemen. Virtual safety car is out. What we have is what we have, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Ferrari 1-2. Let's see if Russell's okay. He took a beating. Is Russell okay? I think so. He is. He's okay. He just radioed in. He's okay. So both Mercs DNF, and that is a final lap. That is brutal for Mercedes. Absolutely brutal. Wow. Oh, what a scene. Just in the middle of the track, sitting there on this side, like a 45-degree, absolutely nuts. And there you go. Barring any drama, and boom, George Russell. Luckily, he's okay. But it's a Ferrari 1-2, everyone. I can't believe it. As Ferrari fans, it's been forever. It's been forever. And here it is, coming through the final turn, 2 weeks off appendicitis. Race winner. It's a Ferrari 1-2 with McLaren 3-4. It's the Reds, the Orange. They dominate Perez in 5th. Alonso in 6th with a Stroll in 7th. Booyah! Sonoda 8th. Hulkenberg in 9th and Maxon in 10th. So Haas picking up 3 points this weekend as well. Oh my. Absolutely insane. With Charles Leclerc picking up 19 points with that plus 1. Oh, and what a scene of George Russell. He's getting picked up by the safety car. He's okay. Whew. Absolutely wild. This one was worth getting up for. I can't believe it. It did slow down. It did settle down quite a bit there. The last quarter of the race or so. Oh man. So there was... he was right on Alonso. Yeah, coming into that turn, that quick little right-left, it's so high speed. Lost a bit of that downforce coming in behind Alonso and just absolutely lost it. He was giving her, it was his last lap. It was his last chance. He was going, because after that, there was one more turn and you were going hard into that final, not the final straight, but that long straight with the DRS train. He was going for it, and it was all or nothing, and nothing's what he got. Whew. Sides, you gotta be a little more excited than that, man. Wild. Absolutely wild. What a waste this weekend, guys. Well, that's it. That is absolutely unbelievable. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful race today. Max, I mean, it would have been completely different if Max stayed in. It would have been interesting, though, because they weren't looking great. Perez, you saw, kind of slow. Max would have been better, but how much better? I don't know. This was Ferrari's race. I think Ferrari might have even had it regardless. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Well, on that note, guys. Oh, here's Leclerc's radio. Congratulating Carlos. He can't be completely upset. He let this one slip away a little bit. Not having the greatest of weekend. But, I mean, qualifying fourth, finishing second. Ferrari 1-2. Booyah. Booyah. Guys, thank you so much. This has been great. Unfortunately, German Dave, he was sick, didn't join us, but you got Canadian Dave, and it was a hell of a race. You got the Ferrari fan anyway. Well, he was a McLaren fan. I think we both would have been pretty happy today. But regardless, thank you so much. So much for watching in. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful race. Love it. I will see you guys soon. We are still coming off the international break for the footy, of course, so not 100% sure on the Monday show. Wednesday for sure, though. We'll for sure see you Wednesday. If not, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. For the already, John Elkins boys finally get a good solid win. 1-2. Good night. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you all.